Hello and what is up, guys? My name is Jaeger from ScreenCasterz. Comes to you now with a deck profile debut of my Constellar deck. A lot of people know about the evil villains of the Duel Terminal DT world. That is Evilswarms. But not a lot of people hear about the heroes of the DT world. The guys taking on the bad guys, the Constellars. Yeah, a lot of people may know this deck as Pleiades.deck, which essentially it is. But this deck got a huge boost with the release of Norden into the TCG. So yeah, I'll get into deck profile and hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So first things first, you run the standard lineup of Constellar monsters. You run the main deck leader. You run 3 Pollux. When he's normal summoned, you gain the effect to normal summon another Constellar monster. So that means he cannot be effect veiler. Well, I guess he can be effect veiler, but it doesn't stop his effect. It's kind of like Evilswarm Caster. So you typically want to open up with him and 3 costs. Constellar cost is one of the best cards in the deck. You want to see him as soon as possible. Yeah, most of the time I'd rather see cost than Pollux, because the more things that bring out cost, bring out Pollux. It's kind of hard to explain. Basically, on the field you get the effect of up to twice per turn. Increase the level of a Constellar monster. So, cool thing, you can just normal summon your Pollux, normal summon another cost. Use the effect to make them both level 5 and overlay into your first turn Pleiades. It's pretty good. Or you can just leave them on the field, attack with both of them, and then main phase 2 make your Pleiades, and it's pretty good. So yeah, cost is a mandatory 3. These 2 guys stay at 3. And now on to the queen of top decks. Constellar Sombre. I say queen because Kirkion is the king. It's kind of the same thing. She's the light counterpart of Kirkion. It's basically the same effect. Basically, when you can normal summon her, banish a Constellar from your graveyard, add a Constellar from your graveyard to your hand, and then you use her effect to normal summon it. So basically, if you already made your first turn Pleiades or Pollux and cost, and that Pleiades died and these guys are in your graveyard, you banish the Pollux, to get the cost to your hand, normal summon the costs, and then make him and her both level 5, and there's another Pleiades, or just leave them on the field to attack, or you can make Omega, a lot of cool things with that. And the last of Constellar monsters, 2 Algady. Algady's really cool. It's kind of like Pollux, but not as good. When she's normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Constellar from your hand. Kind of like Goblin Bird, kind of how that works. The thing is that she can be effect veilered and break this guild, and that really hurts. But it is good to have her if you don't have the Pollux, so that's pretty good. So that's for the Constellar lineup of the deck. Pretty standard. We do 1 Photon Thrasher and 1 Bear. Photon Thrasher is your honorary Pollux, sort of. He's an honorary Constellar. If you have no monster, you can special summon him. Also a huge advocate for this card. And Bear, these 2 guys are basically there to make sure that your tankies and your reinforced armies always have a target. So that's really good. And they help you with your rank 4 plays and gaining advantage. Like, most of the time I special summon the Thrasher and just keep attacking with them. And eventually they will have to deal with them, and that'll be 1 less out to the Pleiades or cost that I'm about to bring out. Bear, you already know, him and Lance is just too powerful. You attack him, if he does any battle damage, you could just set up Fire Formation, you could pop the Fire Formation, and destroy 1 monster on the field. It's pretty good. Nice recycling, you can search out costs with the tanky. So yeah. That's it for the monsters, except for 2 more cards. Double Honest. I cannot find my second Honest. It's a freaking common. I don't know where it is, but, yeah, Double Honest. Everything in the main deck is light, except for the Bear. But most of the time you have Lances to save the Bear. If you don't have the Pleiades play, it's really easy just to, like, for example, normal summon your cost and just leave them there. They'll just attack into them. They don't know the deck, and then Honest saves them. Pretty good, pretty good. So that's it for the monsters. Good 15 in there. Pretty standard. Onto the spells. We got 3 Tanky. And 3 Rhoda. These guys searches out your reinforcement, searches out your Pollux. And Tanky searches out your cost. Now, the cool thing about this is, if you draw into one of these and the other guy, you can just search out for the missing piece. So these guys basically fill in the missing void that make your Pleiades. And once Pleiades on field, you can just bounce things. You can make Omega, make everybody else unaffected by spells and trash. It's really powerful. Omega is basically your Pandemic on legs. It's really good. So these are 3 Ubs and your Searchers. For the 2 Ubs, double Instant Fusion. There's no reason not to run Instant Fusion in this deck. Not only just because of Norden, But you can also bring out Panzer Dragon, which is also just as powerful. I only recommend 2, even if you do run a Norden Turbo deck. I highly recommend only playing 2 Instant Fusion. Only because if you draw multiples of them, yeah, your 2 dead cards can use 1 per turn, so yeah. I highly recommend 2 if you run Instant Fusion in any deck. On for Backrow hate, we do 2 Forbidden Lance and 2 MST. Every deck this format or any format, I highly recommend at least 2 MSTs. Backrow is always going to be a big thing, you know, unless Heavy Storm comes back. That's a story for another day. 2 MST to save your Backrow. Many times they tried Vanities you when you made with both your guys level 5 at Costa's effect. It's really good at chain to stop that Vanities immediately. And Lance with Bear is just too strong. Bear attacks something, they lance you, you lance them back. Or they think you just get over Bear, lance them, you get a free tank on their turn. Really powerful, really good. And if I make one of your monsters unaffected by spells and traps, is nothing to complain about. And last of the one-ofs, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Raigeki. Kind of self-explanatory. Book of Moon, the BA monster, all the other monsters die. And Raigeki for that board wipe. That's it for the spells. Onto the traps. 3 Call to Haunteds and 2 Fiendish Chain. I was thinking about doing 3 Fiendish Chain and 2 Call to Haunteds, but I chose this ratio because this deck kind of has a hard time keeping monsters on board. Once they get over your Pleiades, you don't really have much of a fallback plan other than Sombre or, you know, Norden. So yeah, it's really good to just have recurring monsters, and negating effects is really good, especially when Pleiades can bounce both of these, as well as the Tanky to reuse it, which is just absolutely busted, but I love it. So yeah, you can just reuse them when you want, but the main thing about Call to Haunt I want you to hit home is that you can bring back one of your missing pieces that you already used and reuse it again. And in fact, you could basically have a reusable monster reborn that is kind of slower and Call to Haunt is nothing to complain about. But if you do feel like it, I would recommend 3 Fiendish Chains if you're just starting out the deck. Yeah, because Fiendish Chains is always going to be good for any format. It's just my preference. On to the last of the 2-ofs. 2 Mirror Force. Gotta stop your opponent from attacking over your monsters. Yeah, kind of self-explanatory. Just stop the decks that swarm more than you do. Onto the 1-ofs. 1 Torrential. 1 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. And 1 Solemn Warning. These are pendulum outs. Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare stops Exciton. Really big thing. Stops 101. Could work as Effect Veiler, you know, if you choose not to main them. It's really good. 101. Those things to stop Pleiades. Because one thing I've noticed is people bait out Pleiades. Like, they bring out 101 or something, and of course you're going to bounce the 101. You'd be stupid not to. Or if you can't, no other way to stop it. But then they find a way to make another monster, and Pleiades' effect is only once per turn. So if you only got 1 out, they're going to find a way around them. So Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare really gets around that. And Torrential Tribute is really trolly if you have Constellar Omega on the field. Have other Constellars, your opponent tries to overextend, they won't think you have Torrential, you wouldn't do it. But you have to play Torrential, detach from Omega, all your Constellars are unaffected by spells and traps, all their monsters should die. Just a great Raigeki on your opponent's turn. So that's it for the main deck, onto the extra deck. On for your instant fusion targets, 1 Norden, double Panzer Dragon. Yeah, we have more than 1 instant fusion target, guys. Because we can. Sometimes we have Koss and no other Constellar. You can just instant fusion into the Panzer. Just use Koss's effect to make him level 5, and there's your Pleiades, because it's also a light. Panzer's good for that mid to late game. You'll usually have monsters in the graveyard, even if you've used Sombre already. Just bring them back and, you know, make your rank 4. Good to make into a lot of good rank 4s toolboxing. That's for the instant fusion targets. Onto the rank 4s of the deck. 1 Abyss Dweller. 1 Samurai, 1 Cowboy, Castell, and 101. These are generic. You could run Exciton, I just could not find room for it. But yeah, these are basically the generic rank 4 staples. I don't really feel the need to explain them. But yeah, you can put anything in the rank 4 toolbox side of the deck. Then we're running for the Constellar monsters. 2 Omega. And double Pleiades. I don't have an M7. If I did, I would put it in here. And in my Chaos Dragons, but that's beside the point. I would try Pleiades at 3, but I'm not sure. I never really had the opportunity to go into 3. I've always just had 2. Typically, you had the 2 on the field in Omega, and that's pretty much game. But sometimes people try and find a way around it, but then you just rank 4 Norden out. But These guys are freaking godly together. You got one each on board. Basically, you have total control of your opponent's board with this, and they're unaffected by spells and traps. Yeah, pretty powerful setup. So, most of the time, I try to bring one of each on board and just sit on them. So, yeah. One cool thing you could try to recommend, I would try Kaiser Coliseum, but I haven't tried that part of the deck yet. Anyway, on to the last extra deck, the rank 5s. 1 Volcasaurus, 1 Tyrus, Keeper of Genesis, and 1 Wind-Up Arsenal, Zenmayo. Zenmayo pops here. Set cards can also hit monsters too if they're face down. Tyrus just powers through all that back row. And Volcasaurus is for that burn, because Cowboy wasn't enough, right? So that is my Constellar deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Put a lot of effort and time into making this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to like the video, comment the video, and subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Let's get this video to 15 likes to show your support and that you guys are loving the videos. I really do appreciate it. Have any comments down below on how to fix the deck or make it even better? I would appreciate it. This is the debut of the deck, so there will be a few changes later on. So yeah, my name is Jaeger M from ScreenCasterz, signing out. See you guys.